I've had a bit of a break from YouTube over the past year. Everything got a little bit too much in terms of I was doing too many films, I was doing too much for my clients, I didn't have time to do, you know, logistics of finding press cars, etc. But something came up on my YouTube the other day from my channel, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again. So what I've done is I sent a message to a group of friends of mine and said, oh, you've all got some really cool cars. Do you mind if we do some filming? And the first chap that sent me a message said, yeah, I've got a couple of really interesting things. One of them's less interesting than the other, but we'll get to the other one at some point. It's an Audi and it's very cool. And then this is his daily. This is an F80 M3 competition. We're in absolute, well, as he just called it, wife mode at the moment, which is basically everything dialed down. This is a daily car. If you had £30,000 to buy a fast, usable, child-friendly, wife-friendly car, this has to be, well, this is definitely the most exciting of all of the things you could buy. You would buy probably an RS4 if you wanted the four-wheel drive and the actual, you know, point-to-point fast usability. But this is an event every single time you get in it. So, as I say, we're in normal mode at the moment. I'm going to go into M1 mode, and you immediately feel, I love it in these slightly older M cars. They tighten up. They feel like, well, if you've ever ridden a horse, it feels like you've just kicked the horse in the ribs, but you're still holding on to the reins. It feels like it just wants to absolutely, well, piss off into the distance, basically. M2 mode is then further still, and into maximum attack. Let's make all the noise we possibly can and upset as many people as possible. This one is completely stock from factory. It's got the 440 horsepower. It's a 3-litre straight six twin turbocharged S55 engine. Not the same engine that's in my M2, which is the N55 engine, which was latterly brought into the competition in the M2 also. It feels eager, it feels exciting, even at slow speeds, and that's something that something of similar money doesn't really give you. So something like an RS4, for instance, it doesn't feel exciting. It feels extremely German and, you know, it's sort of boring. This M car is like all the people in Germany that had a sense of humour were in one room and they built one of these. And as I say, for 30 grand, it's got to be one of the cars. You climb the revs. It sounds absolutely brilliant. You get a lovely bit of induction noise, you get loads of exhaust noise, and you get it piped in through the car, through the speakers, which we've all come to terms with now. It still sounds brilliant. M2 mode, which I've just put it in, then dials everything up even further. What a weapon. What an awesome bit of kit. And I like these paddles. These paddles are really cool. I like they've got this sort of click clack as you go. I don't know if you can hear that on my microphone, but they sound really cool. They sound sort of a little bit like something on a steering wheel that you'd have, you know, a phonetic one on a PS5 or something. Just adds to the event, doesn't it? Can you think of a better car for £30,000? I'm not sure I can, that you can put the kids in. This genuinely has a child seat in the back because the owner uses this as his daily. Does 10,000 miles a year in it, 8,000 miles a year in it, and uses it as his daily driver. But because they're still so special, you can get out and take it for a Sunday morning blast in this beautiful weather we've been having at the moment. Oh, hello, that's a really big tractor. And I've got the owner sat next to me. Oh dear. Right, so everything now in M2 mode is in maximum. We've got the throttle response in maximum, which is, to be honest, too much. Far too much, if I'm honest. For the road, I'm sure on a racetrack, and also when you're rolling on, it's fine. Pulling away in that with the gearbox in aggressive mode, etc., it just doesn't, it's just not conducive to road driving. I leave the steering in comfort. I always would leave the steering in comfort anyway. That's how the owner's got it set up. Right, so now let's put it, now we've had our fun in the mental mode that is in this car, that gives you literally everything, all through the rear wheels. It's mad. So to turn it all off, just press it all again, and it goes back into being a sleeper, the Jekyll and Hyde that this car is in reality. These cars, you can pick up a leggy one for, you know, mid-20s, you can pick up a really nice one for 30s, you can pick up an original, an OG one for, you know, an M4 for, you know, same engine, same everything, for nearly 20 grand, probably under 20 grand. It's probably being owned by someone that you don't want to own their car after them, I imagine. But to pick up a really, really nice one, you're going to be looking at £30,000. And for me, I can't think of a better car that still looks brilliant. In this Silverstone 2 paint, I think they look fantastic. There's something about the haunches on these F80 M3s that just looks so right. They look so right. And if you don't know, then, you know, people don't look at it and go, oh, look, he's an arsehole in a showy, flashy car. Don't get me wrong, you can buy one in a silly colour and you always look flashy. But in one of these, in the Silverstone, in the grey or in black, they're under the radar sleeper cars that are really genuinely exciting motor vehicles. The interior, it still stacks up today. It doesn't feel old at all. I'm used to my M2. It's a very, very similar interior. It's the same, you know, same but different. The gearbox feels, this double clutch 7-speed gearbox still feels like it's box fresh. Feels like it just came out of the factory. If they bought this out tomorrow, it would still be a good, exciting car. This silly knob here, I've never been a massive fan of it, but it does the job. Everything in here, it's got Apple CarPlay. It's got everything you'd want from a modern car. And if you don't like the look of the front grille on the new one, why not have one of these and really, really terrify your wife and children? The front end feel is lovely. This is on Continental Sport Contact 7s. I am a massive advocate of the Michelin 4Ss. That's what's on my M2, and it completely transformed the car. They are superb. I haven't spent enough time in this car to know how good these Continentals are, but I've heard from the owner that they are, you know, like for like with the Michelins. There's going to be loads more of this content coming. Hopefully you like it. If you do like it, like and subscribe and all that guff. But if you do like it, and, you know, I'm going to be doing some really, really interesting cars, from Clio racing cars, track cars and things like that, all the way through to Ferrari Romas and GT3 Porsches and that sort of stuff. I'm going to try and weave in some classics. I'm going to try and weave in some brand new cars. These cars that are actually still obtainable, I think, is the place that I want to position Motorflix, to show people what they can buy for their money, what they should buy, what they shouldn't buy, what goes wrong, what doesn't go wrong. So stay tuned, there's going to be loads more stuff coming, and I hope you've enjoyed this one.